Hello everyone. Welcome to today's Liferay Live event. My name is Rolf van der Steen and I am Alliance Manager at Liferay Nordics. In this webinar, we will be presenting the topic of digital transformation through a data-driven digital experience transformation framework as developed by longtime partner Nortal, and by sharing the experience of our joint customer Tallink Group in their transformation to a harmonized interface with deep customer insight, based upon Liferay's digital experience platform. The first presenter, Mr. Oleg Tchaikovsky, is a member of the Nortal Management Board. He has more than 15 years of experience in leading innovative ICT projects and services, working for companies such as Telia and Nasdaq. He has a master's degree in theoretical physics and strategical management, both obtained from the University of Tartu. He is also an active member of the community, being the co-founder and member of the board in St. John's School, a private school dedicated to the principles of cooperation and personal approach. Nortal is an international high-end software development solution provider in public and private sector. Their success is built upon long-lasting relationships and delivering the best quality mission-critical solutions to clients in selected industries across Europe, Middle East and Africa. Following Oleg and showing the data-driven digital experience in this customer story, we have Thomas Susi. Thomas is Head of IT Development at Tallink Group and closely involved in this transformation. The Tallink Group operates 16 vessels around the Baltic Sea with main destinations to Stockholm, Tallinn, Riga and Helsinki. With an annual customer base of close to 9 million passengers and a revenue of almost 1 billion euros, the company has responsibility in delivering its services to its passengers and to over 6,000 employees. Just to let everyone know, all attendees are in listen-only mode. If you have any questions during the presentations, box on the right-hand side, and we'll be having a short Q&A session at the end of each presentation. As a reminder, the recording and slides of this presentation will be made accessible through liferay.com in a couple of weeks. And now I'll hand over the mic to Oleg Tchaikovsky to tell us about data-driven digital experience transformation framework.
Thank you, Rolf, and hello everybody from my side, here from Tallinn. So it's interesting that today almost everybody is talking about the customer-centric journey, although in most of the cases the understanding of the journey is different. And let's try to talk a little bit about it, and let's focus today on I think one of the most crucial aspects of this journey, and this aspect comes to the silos. Because what I'm quite sure is that immediately when you are starting to talk about the customer experience, if you would like to improve the experience, you will start to understand that the major challenges are not technical and they are not inside the technology at all. So the major challenges are incompatible systems, what are coming because of different practices, because of not aligned budgets, and so on, and they erode the organization's digital experience potential. And they mostly comes because of the silos. So the silos, what we are talking about, these are the silos what exist in every organization. So there are different approach for sales departments and delivery departments. There are silos between the sales and marketing, purchasing, operations, so on and so on. Each of them has their own targets, their own management, their own budgets, what means that they have the independent investments. The independent investments leads us to the overlapping functionality of different systems. It leads us to overlapping of the data, or vice versa, the gaps in functionality and gaps in the data, and this leads us to the errors. So I think, honestly speaking, that the way to overcome is to restore, or in some cases to create, the 360-degree view on your customer. Because in that case, you can start again to correlate the value of your customer with acquisition cost of this customer. In that case, you can start to analyze the customer's life cycle, and this is something what we name internally as data-driven digital experience. There are three major parts of this experience. So one part is related with channels, e-channels specifically talking. So when you are defining the strategy and the concepts, answering to the business model of these e-channels, why you are doing it, what you are doing, who is your customer, and so on and so on. You are implementing technological solutions for that, and you're launching the solution. So you're applying the digital marketing, you are using the social media marketing automation as one part of what you're doing there. Then another big part is any kind of data analytics when you are dealing with data. So you're collecting all the data, what is possible for your customer. You're applying the machine learning to understand the patterns. And the third part is what usually are named as CRM, but we named it XRM because we do believe that the approaches, how you're handling the customers in terms of CRM, they are exactly the same as you're handling the vendors, as you're handling the personnel. In case of, for example, telecom companies, as you are handling the catalogs of products and services, and so on and so on. So these all are, the principles are absolutely the same. And as a result of applying of these principles, you can get this predictive and personalized approach to your customer. Another quite big aspect is data analytics. So in case of data analytics, you have to start to store all the data about the customers and their behavior from the very beginning, to store all the data, not losing nothing from this data, to apply the forecast models for that, to apply the common data usage policies between the silos, and in order to get it, you need to have the specific skills and competencies for that. To understand, you have to understand the quality of data, what you have, so to clean the data and to understand what is happening inside the data. So meaning that the data scientist becomes in that case an extremely important part of your team in order to get this experience. So let me give you a couple of examples. One comes to social network analysis. In order to, so we already today using certain techniques to analyze the social media to understand the relations between the persons and companies, between the different companies, to restore from the social networks the data about the addresses, persons, companies, hobbies, whatever it comes. And this is something what is very important in order to understand what and how customers doing today. Another quite good example comes to the process mining or process modeling. So in most of the cases, you have certain gaps between the planned processes and the actual process. So you have something described in your internal books, how the sales process has to look like, how the customer handling process has to look like, and so on and so on. But if you, based on the logs of your system, if you are restoring the actual process, and there are certain techniques for that, then you will understand that in most of the cases the actual process is something what is quite far away from the planned process. And in that case, I mean, if you have this view on what's going on, you can start to restore and to understand better what customers are doing. So there is an example of one of our customers when they have understood that there is in their web shops the conversion rate, meaning that how much customers are just coming in to web shop and how much of them are getting to the actual transactions, buying something or ordering some services. This conversion rate was too low. And applying the process mining to that, we've been able to understand together with the customer. So what exactly is happening there? Where the customers get stuck, where they don't understand, I mean, how to proceed further, and so on and so on. And we have been able to restore the process from the very beginning. So altogether, we have to understand that the data integration, there has to be no any kind of illusions. Data integration is absolutely never-ending process. So you are applying it iteratively, step by step, to understand better what exactly is happening with your data and what are you doing there. In order to start to move on that way, there are certain steps. So you have to start to integrate the data sources, different data sources. For example, answering to the question, where exactly is my customer is located? What geographic data is available for the customer? You have to create the targeted experience based on the holistic view of each customer, meaning that that you are, for example, you're able to answer to the question that what time of the day my customer most active, or most probably would like to shop in e-channels or physical channels. And thanks to that, you can have the one-to-one conversation, meaning that that you are using all the customer data, for example, from the social media. As a result of that, you are understanding what interests and hobbies customers has, and you are moving this process, and this is absolutely the major transformation. So you're moving this process from the, I would say, group-based to absolutely personalized. So instead of scheduled, you get a dynamic view. Instead of measuring what happens in the past, you are able to deal with the predictions, what most probably will be in the future. In case of single channel, you are using the cross-channel approach for the customer, and so on and so on. So a little bit more detailed and at the same time simplified view of the process is something what is used by our very good friends and partners. There is quite it's a great company in Sweden named Element AB, and they are using the approach what you see right now on the slides. So they divide the process on certain layers like technology, like people and training, like the project management, contents, channels, and so on and so on. And they have certain types of the topics where they're addressing on that way. And here you see that how you can get all this picture together in order to get this 360-degree view on your customer. And when you're talking about the how, so how to apply it all, then absolutely crucial cornerstone is change management. Change management when you're dealing with your stakeholders, when you're understanding, I mean, what are the incentives of the stakeholders, when you're dealing with change readiness assignment, why they're doing it with that, when you understanding where are the obstacles on the process inside the silos and so on and so on. When you are dealing with organizational transformations, meaning the policies inside the organization, in some cases the legal part of that. When you're dealing with the communication plans and with engagement strategy, so you're all the time, I mean, each step you're understanding that why and which part of the process is not working, if any. And this is how we see this picture altogether. So how we can restore this 360 view on customer. So that was a very short view. I mean, honestly, I can speak about it for hours and hours, but that was a very short view. If you have any kind of questions, I would be happy to answer on that.
Thank you, Oleg. Very much appreciated. One question is, how do you realign the processes if you have noticed through your data-driven portal? What are the first steps for the corrections?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Maybe the first step is to start to integrate all the data sources. So to start to collect all the data from the very beginning, to start to integrate these data sources, and to start to understand the different pieces of the view, the pieces of information, so that you will be able to restore this 360-degree view on the customer.
Okay, so you start to look for missing parts first through the existing data sets.
And based on that, we are, as a next step, we are creating the targeted experience of the customer. So we are starting to understand, I mean, not only how the customer is acting at certain patterns, but why he's doing like that. So and as a next result, we'll be able to start to predict what most probably customer will be doing as a next step.
Okay, thank you very much, Oleg. There are no further questions.
Okay, so there's no more questions. Then let me pass the word to Thomas, who is the next speaker here. Thomas is head of IT development at Tallink. Tallink, as most of you knows, is one of the biggest logistic companies in our region of Baltic Sea. So this company of revenue of more than 1 billion euros. And Thomas will be talking shortly about what kind of challenges they faced introducing the intranet, extranet, and public-facing internet in their company. Please, Thomas.
Yeah, hello everyone. A bit stuck with the technology here. So, here we go. My name is Thomas Susi. I work as a head of IT development for Tallink Group for a bit more than 10 years. Before that I was working for the banking industry, but to be honest, the entertainment industry, where am I right now, is much more interesting. And you heard it right. It's, although we operate 16 vessels and also 5 hotels around the Baltic Sea, the biggest part we do here is to entertain our customers. We have annually 10 million passengers traveling with us. Our revenue is, as Rolf already mentioned, a bit below 1 billion euros. And every bit of effort we do to improve our customer experience a bit will give us tremendously back. It will improve our revenue lines a lot. So our management has decided a few years ago to concentrate very actively on improving the customer experience, not only digitally, also emotionally on board our vessels and building new vessels and so on. But from my perspective, of course, the most interesting part is how to make digital experience for our customers as smooth, as comfortable and transparent as possible. We try to improve the accommodation facilities, improve the services on board the vessels, and together with that, all the digital channels have to cope with these changes, and they also have to cope with the raising requirements and expectations from our customers. We like to call ourselves a leading provider of high quality mini cruises and also cargo services, but to be the market leader as we currently are. It also makes quite a high pressure for us to be also digitally innovative and work together with the customers in social media, in all the evolving new channels which are coming through the doors and windows on a daily basis, basically. 4 years ago, in 2012, we were looking for a new platform to implement all our external and internal websites on a single platform. Our requirements weren't that high. They weren't that strange, actually. It must be a very scalable platform. It should be very easy to develop new stuff, and it should be, of course, mobile friendly. We also had an internal requirement. It should be Java-based, and actually it turned out that the last one was the killer one for the most of the competitors of Liferay, as there are plenty of PHP-based solutions which we found not to be scalable or flexible enough, and we got a very good partnership with Nortal and a very good price offer, of course. And here we are. We started this project 4 years ago, and we actually finished this project 3 years ago, but have changed this project into a constant process. So we are quite constantly putting a big development effort to make our services, digital services, even better. And Liferay is being a central part of it. It consolidates all our digital content for all our channels, not only informational channels but also transactional channels. And it's a unified platform for external customers as an internet public-facing website platform, and also a platform for extranet, i.e. for our partners, agents, travel agencies, and at the same time also we are currently finishing the project for internet users, i.e. all the internal informational websites will be migrated to Liferay platform, which is being delivered within June this year, as at least the first phase. We have quite a lot of external channels, as I already mentioned, the desktop booking engine, the mobile booking engine, the booking engines for agents, and the focal point is still Liferay, where everybody starts their digital journey, and the customers being looking for the next departure, and seeing their history with us so far. And although the transactional environments are not built on Liferay due to the historical reasons, the customer during the Liferay always during their journey with us always returns to Liferay portlet, one or another, and so the Liferay fills in all the gaps we have between the transaction sites. So our offers need to be very personalized. They need to be based on the analysis which is made based on the data we gain from or gathered from the customers' earlier trips with us. So referring to the presentation of Oleg, this everything starts from the data analysis. So we need to know, I don't know, maybe not 360-degree yet for us view on the customer, but at least, but as much as possible to make the very personalized and, as we think, the best offer for the next best offer for this particular customer in person, not a customer group, but this. And Liferay makes it available, possible, and the content is for all the offers is we take from Liferay as a content management system. We make the presentation part in there, and also we get all the customer behavior data from Liferay logs, and use it together with the transactional data to segment customers properly and target them for the next trip. So, yeah, in order to be able to fulfill our mission and vision, our business processes and supporting technologies that we choose, everything needs to be aligned with each other. And currently, we think that the Liferay is the best tool to do that, and makes us ready for digital transformation even further. And Oleg told that he can talk for hours. So unfortunately, I don't have that ability. So that was my presentation. If you have any questions, I'm available for those.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you very much for your presentation. There are some questions lined up. The first one is, what were the biggest challenges in implementing the platform?
I think the biggest challenge, as always, is the data, is the historical data and the cleaning this data, so we could really fit best into the new structures. It's very convenient if you make the new structures ready, and then you map all your current content to this new structure. Otherwise, it could really end in an endless discussion of between the media and content owners. So it's everyone should have some standard to work with. There is also a bit everyone should dedicate the time to train his staff. So the Liferay is not it's not it's easy. It's not the most lightweight platform. So you need to learn to live with it. But as far as you have trained your staff, so everything goes smoothly. One needs to think seriously about training, and we solved it in a way that we involved the training process the very senior people from partners, and together with them our people learned how to live with Liferay, how to operate it, how to develop on it very, very quickly. So content and training of your people.
Thank you. Another question is about the outcome of the transformation. Of course, it's still ongoing. I'll also a bit more about that. But have you been able to measure the results through, for example, expenditure on the cruises, or in terms of customer satisfaction?
Yeah, it's extremely difficult to measure it money-wise. Because one can always say, okay, it's a market going up, and that's the reason why you have gained additional revenue. But of course, from customer experience-wise, it's priceless. We can now really put customer first. We don't have to tackle the technology. So we can really think what the customer wants, and we can be sure that the technology won't be a bottleneck here. And of course, in our particular case, being on different platforms meant that we couldn't have a proper analytics. So the Google Analytics we are using wasn't able to cope with the amount of platforms we had these days. So at least we couldn't really maintain this analytical part. Now it's very easy and straightforward. We don't even need a full FTE for that.
Okay, thank you. A third question is, perhaps it's a bit too technical, but can you tell us the technology that is used behind Book Your Trip portlet?
Actually, the portlet is, as it was asked, it's a Liferay internal portlet, which is directing a customer to the additional Java-based applications, which is quite a heavy front end, and uses RX JS framework as a main one. If this answers your question.
Yes, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit more about the average traffic on your website?
Yeah, we just looked through the analytics for the last year, and it seems that we have approximately 10 million page views per year. I think it's 10 million page views. I could come back to that. I'm not that sure.
Okay, thank you very much. There are no further questions, so thank you very much, Thomas.
Okay, great. So now I would like to introduce you to the next presenter, Mr. Rolf van der Steen, and he has a very long history within the ICT industry, more than 20 years, and has been entrepreneur, advisor, board member in different organizations, and is currently alliance manager at Liferay, responsible for the Nordics. And Rolf will go through the highlights of the recently announced Liferay digital experience platform, the latest solution for getting all departments, from sales and marketing to support and operations, working together to care for your customers. Because real transformation means getting everyone involved. Here we go.
All right. Thank you very much, Thomas. I appreciate the introduction. All right. Yeah, Liferay Digital Experience Platform. It is pretty fresh. We announced this last week, Tuesday. After that, we have gained some experience with some of our customers already, and we thought it would be ready for wider deployment. So today I'll be introducing the key elements of Liferay digital experience platform, and focus on the key challenges that are in place for this and that fit this presentation. Basically, Liferay digital experience platform is based around three key topics. The first one is business agility. How do you handle your existing customer base, your existing databases, your processes, and how do you make them more agile? How do you work with the constantly changing requirements from the market, internally and externally, obviously? The second one is about the connected experiences. How do you make sure that the user of your services have a uniform feeling on how you present the information towards those particular individuals, no matter what platform they use, no matter what interface they use, no matter where they are. And the third one, and that is the biggest addition to our new digital experience platform, that is about customer insight. How do you create information, one profile, if you will, about the customers that you have visiting your sites, that have been visiting your shops, that are visiting your garages? How do you actually get those from one point of view? So, business agility. Business agility lays the foundation for your organization's ongoing digital transformation. So like said, it is mostly looking at what do you currently have already and how can you harmonize that, and Thomas gave a clear example of that, what has been a challenge in his deployments, to harmonize the data to make it usable throughout the different interfaces. That's one part. The other part is the actual ability to create the buy-in for the cultural change, because of course the technology is definitely important in the digitalization of the company or the organization. But what is also important is that the people understand the purpose of it, and they change their mindset as well, so that they can enable and cooperate together with the technology. So, if we go more into practical terms, it means basically integrate the systems and data. So Liferay, with its background over 15 years in integrating existing databases, as we are open source, we have a lot of connectors and hooks and APIs to integrate all the systems and data, making those processes more dynamic. So based upon the needs from the ever-changing needs, make it more agile, have more flexibility in your processes, and in that way create a great customer experience. And then this prepare for change, so like I mentioned already, making sure that not just the technology is ready for the new way of working, but also the people are ready for that. The second one was about connected experiences. Creating personal connected experiences across any interface. So that can be through the web, it can be on your mobile, in SMSs, push messages, local apps, but also physical channels. So when people come into the store, that they actually realize that they are a very welcomed guest, that we don't necessarily want to actively sell something, but to make sure that they feel that they have a purpose in that particular store. Like I said, basically everything with a screen, coming from wristbands to your Oculus Rift, or your car dashboard, or your tablet that you have in your hand, that those experiences are aligned. And of course, this is also related to how your employees and the people that interact with the end users work with that. An example here is how with Liferay you can profile a particular ad. So here we wanted to show on web content, mobile and in push, how a particular sponsored advertisement or sponsored article actually about the crisis in retail banking, how that is adjusting according to the interface that the end user is using. So if he's on web content, then he will see a bit bigger picture with crisis in retail banking with a nice picture below that, and it's integrated in the website. When he goes to a web, to the mobile, and he sees a similar picture still there, but it is in a vertical bar so that you can actually scroll down, up and down as easy as possible. And then when through a push notification, there's text only, obviously. People will be able to click on that and then open the article itself. But as you see, the approach is very similar, and it always reaches the right audience. And then about customer insights, this is how you can understand your customers to give them exactly what they want next. So like Thomas was saying, and also Oleg in his presentation about the 360 view, that you also understand not only what has been done and what is happening right now, but also give some predictions about what will be happening next. In the next slides, there's a nice single customer view picture of Miss Joanna Smith. Miss Joanna Smith is a typical customer for a bank, and she has a number of interests, as you can see here. She likes to look at luxury bags, she likes to look at shoes, she has been in the New York Fashion Week probably, she's been looking at accessories towards spring trends, and you can actually see here how this lady, Joanna, how much expenditure she can give, what is the opportunity that you can create with her, and what has she actually been purchasing over the last couple of months or days or weeks, no matter how, you can decide yourself on the time scale here. So here you see that she has a store purchase at the Grove in Los Angeles, for example. But also, what has she been doing? And what was mentioned by Thomas, that it's not just about what's happening on your own website, but it's also about what has been happening around that. So Miss Joanna Smith, she probably has liked this particular company, this bank, on her Facebook page, or she is following it on Twitter. Which means that, especially through Facebook, the bank probably also has access to her other likes. So they can more or less track where Joanna has been looking at on Facebook. Based upon that, and also some more demographic information, the bank can create specific offers for Miss Joanna. So for example, they can give a particular invitation for a fashion event that is being hosted or sponsored by the bank, and in that way create really a specific individual customer experience. So those were the main points of the Liferay Digital Experience Platform. We have some time for questions. Let me see if there has been any. You will see my screen here. Let me see. No, there seems to be no further questions. Okay. Feel free to reach out to any one of us. So you have my contact details over here. Also, Oleg and Thomas have shared their contact details. So I'd like to thank Oleg from Nortal and Thomas from Tallink for your presentations and your insights. Again, as a reminder, this webinar has been recorded, and the recording and slides will be posted on liferay.com in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great day.